Welcome back to the Dashing Investor YouTube channel, where we're all about figuring out how to make more money with Doordash. So yeah, today guys, we're going to be talking all about the new Dasher tier program, the new program that Doordash put out a few months back in other markets, but it came to my market in May 7th. So I've been testing what is the best way to handle this new tier program and the best ways to make the most money under this tier program. So yeah, guys, first of all, what is the tier program? Well, the new Doordash tier program, from what they say, they are rewarding Dashers who put more effort into accepting more orders. Now, first we have the silver program, and I'm just going to read right here from the app. We have the new silver program. Acceptance rate is 50%. Completion rate is 90%. And the customer rating has to be 4.5 customer rating. So, and then this gold level is 70% acceptance rate, 95 completion rate, and 4.5 customer rating. And then the highest level is the platinum, where your acceptance rate has to be 70%, completion rate has to be 95%, and the customer rating has to be 4.7%. Just real quick on the rewards in the silver program, you're supposed to get higher paying orders than the people that basically have a lower acceptance rate than 50%. You have early access to scheduling, which you can schedule up to 6 days out. And then the gold program, you have the VIP Dasher support. I don't know if that's really a thing or not. But I know when I call support, they do jump right on the phone with me, but I think they do that for pretty much everybody. And then again, you have the increased priority for high paying orders. You're supposed to get a little bit better orders than the silver program and below. And then we have the platinum program, where one of the great rewards of the platinum program is the Dash Now. So you don't have to worry about scheduling. You can jump in and out of there, delivering food as many times as you want without having to schedule. And then it says access to large orders. So in the platinum program, you're supposed to get the very best orders that Doordash has to offer at that time. And yeah, so that's and then we have, of course, top priority for high paying orders, which that kind of goes with the access to the large orders. Basically, the large orders are the catering orders. And the old Top Dasher program, you had to be invited to that. The catering program, now with the new tier program, the catering orders are now just spread out pretty much to everybody that's in the platinum program. But I'm gonna give you some strategies today. I'm gonna give you the ultimate strategy to make this tier algorithm give you the very best orders that are available at the time in your market. So yeah, let's start with the first strategy I use, and this is the most simplest strategy that you can use, and this is working with Doordash and becoming a platinum member, being in that platinum tier, because hey, sometimes you got to work with Doordash to get those better orders, and that's how the algorithm is actually set up. You want to be in that platinum tier to get the best orders. Now it says 70% or better in the platinum tier program, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I've done a lot of testing, and the sweet spot is 87% to 93%. You want to stay somewhere in there. Now that gives you enough room where you can actually decline those horrible orders out there. So you get a $4 going 12 miles, horrible orders like that. So that'll give you some room where you can decline those really bad orders. And why do I say the sweet spot is between 87 and 93? I have found 87 to 93 is actually better than, say, hey, being a 72%, 78, 79, 82, 83% completion rate. Yes, all you need is 70% and higher to be in the platinum program, and you will get better orders. Because I know I found in my market, once I go under 70%, the orders do get a lot worse. So you definitely want to stay under 70%. But now I have found the sweet spot is between that 87% and that 93% to get the very best orders in your market. But also you have some room to decline those very bad offers. Now, though this does work in my market like very, very good, but any information I give you, make sure you test it in your market. That's the only way you're going to know if it truly works or not in your markets, because pretty much all markets are different. So yeah, that's the kind of the sweet spot that you need to be in to get the very best orders. You want to be in that platinum program. You want to work with Doordash and the algorithm. You can't get around that. There is no, you can cherry pick. You can sit there all day cherry picking, trying to find the best orders. You might get some best orders because some things have trickled down from the platinum drivers because they were busy at the time. But you're going to sit a lot more when you try to cherry pick with those really low acceptance rates. So yeah, if you want to keep them wheels rolling and with the very best offers that DoorDash has to offer in your market, stay between that 87 to 92% completion rate, and you'll be in a good place there. So anywhere in there. So now the second thing I want to cover, the second step of this strategy, is proximity. What do I mean by proximity? That means how close you are to the better paying restaurants. Now in my market, we have all the restaurants nestled together. So I have a secret spot that I sit at one of the restaurants that gives me all the good high paying offers. And I've tested this over months and months and months, and I have found that this place here is what I call the money spot. So find the money spot in your area. Is your market kind of set up like mine, where all the good restaurants are nestled in one place? Or maybe you only have one or two good restaurants that pay really good, that kick out all the high paying orders, and the rest are the fast food. Well, guess what? You need to be sitting in that parking lot of that high paying restaurant. You need to sit in that parking lot. And after you complete an order, once you get an order from anywhere, when you complete that order, go back and sit in that restaurant parking lot where it pays high. You may get an order from that restaurant, or you may be called to go get another order from somewhere else. But after that order is done, you make sure you go back to that high paying restaurant parking lot. You always trying to get back to that high paying restaurant parking lot. And even if you have multiple restaurants that I have, test your market. Find out where you need to sit in town or what parking lot you need to sit. And that's what I do every day. I go out, I turn the app on, I get that order, and it may call me from somewhere else, from another restaurant. But after I complete that order, I'm heading back. I'm heading back to that parking lot. Now, I also use the pause method. I got a whole new video on exactly what the pause method is. I'll cover very, very briefly, but there's a whole video about it. Make sure you go check it out. It's definitely help you increase your earnings. And what I do when I get that order and I get that order dropped off to the customer, I'll hit my app and put it on pause, and then I'll make it back to that parking lot, or at least close by that restaurant, before I turn it back on. And the way I do it, the reason I do it like that in my market, because I have all the good restaurants nestled together, and all around are the fast food, lower paying restaurants. So I like to hit pause so I don't get picked up by all those little low paying restaurants and just wasting my time when I can get back and get into my little nest of high paying orders. So you can do that too. Like I said, I have a whole video on the pause method. Go watch it so you can fully understand how I use the pause method. Like I said, you may have just one or two restaurants and some fast food around it, and you just want to get back to that parking lot and without being picked up by those other orders. So that's a great way to do to hit that pause. Or another way you can use it is if you get an order and it sends you to a bad area of town, and you don't want to get caught in that part of town, order after order after order, no tip orders, low orders. Well, you drop that order off and you hit that pause button, and you get your butt on up out of there, so you can go ahead and get back to your high paying area or your high paying restaurant. So yeah, pause method. Check out that video. I'll tell you all about how to use the pause method in that video. So yeah, again, proximity to restaurants, to your best restaurants. That is the number 2. Keep that in mind. Put that in your notes. You just don't want to sit anywhere in town or just drive around like your head chopped off. You want to find that money spot that you want to sit in town. So again, test it in your market. It works great in my market. So when I find something that works great in my market, I always try to give it to you guys. So take my information, test it in your market. Hopefully it works in your market. Okay. Number 3 is the mileage strategy. Now this is super, super important. So get your pen and paper out, get your phone out, whatever you're taking your notes with. This is super, super important. And this is the mileage strategy that I use to not only keep my AR high, but also not accepting all those bad orders. Now, this is first of all what you want to do. Again, back to, you want to stay in that sweet spot from that 87% to 92, 93% acceptance rate. So how do you do this? You're like, well, man, I don't want to accept all those bad orders and all of that. Now, one good thing, the first thing is it won't be a lot of bad orders because you're going to have a high acceptance rate. So you won't see all those terrible orders, those $3 going 12 miles, just all those crazy orders. You may see 1 or 2 of them, and that's why you do decline those, but you won't see a lot of those orders. So now we love all to preach, hey, try to get that $1 per mile, get that $1 per mile. Don't go under that $1 per mile, which that's a good strategy. But if you want to stay between this 87 to 92, 93% completion or acceptance rate, not completion rate. So let's make that clear. That's just me saying the wrong words. But 87 to 92 or 93 acceptance rate, if you want to stay in between that, you want to have some kind of mileage strategy. So what I use is I go by the $1 per mile, but I also will throw in a few here and there of the lower ones. So I may take a 7 mile getting paid $6. And actually, what I like to call the $1.50 drop, and that's just so I can remember, I may take a $5.50 going 7 miles, just here and there. You don't have to take them all. Just take them here and there. Like I said, you won't see a lot of horrible orders. You're not going to receive a lot of bad orders, but you may see a $5.50 going 7 miles. go ahead and take it. Don't be scared to take it. Take that dollar per mile. Go ahead and take it, because with that high, keeping your acceptance rate really high, you're going to get those bangers. You're going to get those $20 plus orders. You're going to get those $10 with the plus sign behind it that turns into something better. So don't be scared to take those orders. And the reason I'm telling you this now, you can go, if you can do this, if you want to, you can turn down all those orders and keep searching for all those best orders all the time. And what you're going to do, before you know it, you're going to be in the low 80s. You're going to be in the high 70s. You're going to be in the mid 70s. You're going to be in the lower 70s. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have 70% acceptance rate and a 95% completion rate. And you're going to have your back up against the wall. And then you're going to get that terrible order, that $3 to go 15 miles. What are you going to do? And you have 70% completion rate. Well, you may decline it. So now you're at 69%. Now, DoorDash really going to send you all that garbage. You didn't went under 70%. So you're going to see a lot more garbage. And then you may say, well, I'm not taking that. I'm not going to take this. Now, all of a sudden, you're at 65%. You're at 60%. See, so now you done went down the rabbit hole of garbage orders. So now you don't have no choice but to take all those bad orders. So what you do, you don't even put yourself in that situation. Stay between that 87% and 93% acceptance rate, and accept a few lower offers along the way, so you never put yourself in that situation where you accepting those horrible orders. You're back against the wall when now all you have, that's all you can do, accept those bad orders. Or don't accept them, and you're only going to go lower and lower with your acceptance rate, and the garbage order is going to increase. So again, guys, hey, let's spread it out some. So just remember, 87 to 93% acceptance rate is the sweet spot. And that gives you enough room to decline those bad orders. Now, the lowest you want to go is like 87%. So what I do, when I hit about 90%, I go into a different type of mode here. I'll go ahead and say, like I said, I'll use my $1.50 drop. Well, I'll take that $5.50 going 7 miles. Again, I don't see a lot of that, but I'll go ahead and take it. And hey, that's still some decent cash flow. I don't care what nobody tells you out here, all this, oh, yeah, I only take the $2 per mile and this and that. And a lot of these people are multi-apping. So when you're listening to these guys here, you know, you don't know what their situation is. Hey, they might have a different situation in life. They might be multi-apping. You don't know what they're doing. But if you're just a DoorDash driver and trying to maximize your profits on this new tier program, I'm telling you, this is the way you need to do it. You need to stay in between that 87 to 92, 93% acceptance rate. And then when it comes to your mileage, you know, again, $1 per mile, that's great to keep in your head. You want to at least have $1 per mile and better, and you will get those banging orders out here if you stay between that 87 to 92, 93% acceptance rate. You will get those banging orders to make up for those lower orders. But you're going to have to kind of rewire your brain a little bit, because DoorDash is playing a different game now. People are going to try to do this cherry picking and all those old ways. DoorDash has upped their game. They have changed this algorithm. So you got to play the game along with DoorDash if you want to make the most money. So again, guys, while you're between the 87 to 93%, accept some of those orders. Do not keep turning these orders down, and then you're in a situation where you have to take these bad orders, and then you're even below 70%, and now you're really getting them trash orders, and you have to take them. You either have to take them or go lower, and that's going to continue the trash orders. So again, I usually, when I'm around that, like I said, around that 90%, I'll switch my strategy up, and I'll do my $1.50 drop. And again, what is that? That is, hey, I'll go 7 miles and only get paid $5.50. But that'll keep me in that sweet spot. I don't see a lot of those, but that'll make sure I still did a decent order and got decent earnings from it, and didn't have to go a ton of miles over what that dollar pay is. So yeah, guys, that's my mileage strategy that that I use to stay between that 87 to 92, 93 acceptance rate. Now, my next step is just positivity, guys. Just stay positive. Just stay positive out here. Don't let it get you down. And I'm going to tell you, if you got a lower acceptance rate, that climb to get between that 87 to 92, 93%, it may be a rough road, but as you increase your acceptance rate, you'll start seeing a lot less bad orders. But if you're really, really low and you really want to get better orders on this tier program, you're going to have to get that acceptance rate up. That's just what it is. Or you can just continue to cherry pick and multi-app and do whatever you want to do. But if you're a DoorDasher and you only have DoorDash and you're wondering what you need to do to get these higher orders out here, you need to get that acceptance rate up. And it's going to be a battle to get the acceptance rate up. I had a 72% acceptance rate. I never went under 70, but I did have a 72% acceptance rate. I accepted every single order till I got to 100% acceptance rate. And then I just started seeing, like, man, it was crazy. It was great order after great order. And then I would see some here and there that I had to decline. And I just kept testing it back and forth. I just kept testing it where I needed to be. And then I settled on between 87% to about that 92% acceptance rate is where you need to be. And don't go under the 87. Don't really worry about going over that 92, 93%. I feel like the 92% is just as good as that 100%. And plus that gives you some room where you can decline some of those lower orders. But again, once you get around that 90%, I will go ahead and kick in that $1.50 drop that I like to use. And yeah, that just to keep you in a good place. That'll keep you from going down a hole that you don't want to see, where you're just going to see a bunch of garbage orders. So yeah, again, guys, let's keep it simple here. 87 to 90 to 93% acceptance rate. Try to make sure you're by those good restaurants. Even if you have only 1 or 2 restaurants, consistently go back to that restaurant. Use the pause method if you need to. And again, I have a whole video on the pause method and also my mileage strategy. Test that out in your market, see how it goes. That's how I stay in between that 87 to 92 to keep me out of that rabbit hole of garbage orders. Now, I'm going to give you a bonus mileage strategy. And what is this? Now, this is what I do when I work all day long. So I know there's people out there that work all day long and some that do it part-time. But if you do work all day long, this is a bonus strategy that I use. Now, we all know the time of day matters. You know, lunch could be pretty good for people, and dinner's even better, and breakfast can be okay. Sometimes breakfast is really good in some markets, but most of the time breakfast is okay. Sometimes not great at all. Lunch is pretty good, and dinner's even better. So this is what I do. I have kind of a dinner mileage strategy that I use. And this I only use this when I've worked all day. I'll pretty much take the kind of the worst orders or the not so good orders all day long. So guys, say I start at 9 a.m. and I'm going to work to about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So all during the day, I will accept the lower paying orders. Like I say, the dollar per mile, my $1.50 drop where I go, like I say, I'll get paid $5.50 and I'll go 7 miles. I'll take those all day long that day. Now, come around 5 o'clock, now I've built up my acceptance rate, and now come around 5 o'clock, I have enough where I can decline any of the lower orders, and I'm cherry picking that little dinner window. So from 9 to 5 o'clock, I'll take those lower paying orders, build up my acceptance rate, and again, with having a high acceptance rate, I'm not seeing a lot of garbage orders in the first place. So it's really no big deal, but maybe some orders I would have declined, I go ahead and take a few. Like I said, I usually use my $1.50 drop as rule. Again, going 7 miles and maybe only getting paid $5.50. So I'll use that as my little guardrail on what I will accept and what I won't accept with this dinner strategy. So basically, I'm just building up my acceptance rate during the day. So at nighttime, during dinner time, I have plenty acceptance rate where I can cherry pick, because dinner time in most markets is the very best time. That could range anywhere between like 5 p.m. to anywhere, it may go late as 8:30, 9 o'clock in your market. Again, that's something you would have to test. You'll have to find exactly when those best dinner hours are. But I build up during the day, and then in the evening, I have more acceptance rate to decline more during dinner time. And now I'm cherry picking. I cherry pick that small window, that 3 to 4 hour small window. I'll cherry pick and find the very best orders. And boy, does it work. I may turn down a $7 or $8 order going 4 or 5 miles, but I turn it down and bam, that next order is paying $20+. So, but yes, so that's a little extra bonus strategy. That's if you working all day long. Or you may work between, say, start your day between 8, 9 a.m. and you may work to 2 to 2:30. During that time, just go ahead and you're planning on coming back out dinner time that day. Go ahead and take those not so good orders. Now again, I didn't say go out here and take no $4 going 12 miles, all that crazy stuff. That's why you have a 87 to 92, 93% acceptance rate, so you can decline. But again, if you're already in that 82 to 90, that 87 to 92, 93%, you're not going to see a lot of those bad orders anyway. But if you do, you got some room to decline those, and then you go ahead and take the good orders and the not so good orders. And then, like I say, some of those that are less than $1 per mile, because you know during dinner time, you're going to have enough acceptance rate where you can cherry pick that dinner time, your very best time of the day. So yeah, hey, that's just a little extra bonus mileage strategy that I use to make more money, depending on how many hours I'm working that day on this Doordash tier program. And as always, you know, you want to back to the times of the day. You know, breakfast in most towns is okay. Some are even terrible. Lunch is better. And then dinner is usually, probably 99% of the markets out here, dinner is the very best time of the day, because most people are ordering for their whole family. So the orders are going to be bigger. And usually the tips are bigger during that time. So that's just also something you want to, all you beginning Door Dashers out there, you want to kind kind of strategize on different parts of the day. Usually it kind of slows down here between that 2 and 5, where you're starting to get those lower orders, and you'll actually start sitting a lot more out there and waiting on the orders, because just nobody is really ordering that much. Lunch is over and dinner hasn't started yet at 5. So yeah, just keep an eye out on the different parts of the day that you're working. And I have full videos on the best times and the best days to work with Doordash. So yeah, guys, that's my ultimate strategy on how to make this new Doordash tier program work for you, so you can make the most money possible in your market. So yeah, all you can do is test it. It works great here. I'm seeing a lot better orders with a higher acceptance rate and using these strategies. So again, you know, all you can do is take your notes, go out tomorrow, test it in your market. I hope it works. I hope your earnings increase a lot. So yeah, you know, I always hope all you guys out there prosper and make the most money possible in doing this Doordash gig. But yeah, guys, as always, we're gonna wrap this video up, and I want you guys to stay positive out there. If it gets slow, don't go home. Stay out there, because you don't know what you're missing, because that sometimes it gets slow out here doing Doordash. You can't do nothing about it. So go ahead and stay positive. Don't let it get you down. Stay on them goals. Keep them goals in sight. It's you versus you, and only you can stop you. Don't let nobody else stop you from reaching those goals. And other than that, guys, until next time, as always, I want y'all to be safe out here and keep getting this money.